Man, look, I told y'all they've been watching Young Thug ever since he got caught back in the day, man. Like in 2017, he was in the Benz and got caught with the peas, man. Look, they steady was watching him ever since then, and now you see what happens. They put a Rico on him, man. Y'all gotta understand, YFN Lucci was already locked up on a Rico for like almost a year now. And when they got YFN and YSL both doing all these crazy things, they had to make sure that they had to put a stop to it before the summer started, man. Because it would have been a crazy summer in Atlanta. Y'all got to understand that Young Thug already had that situation with his baby mama. It was already a lot of retaliation. You got to realize that they tried to get YFN Lucci while he was in behind bars, locked up. And then the first time they try to send a dude at him is what caused the retaliation for the baby mama. Because the dude that did the whole thing with the baby mama at the bowling alley knew she was gonna be there and literally picked the fight. Like that guy was sent there. He knows YFN Lucci. And another thing is that Young Thug, ever since he started hanging with Gunna, he showed Gunna, like when he signed him to YSL, being signed to YSL basically means you were part of the group. When you part of the group, you get included into these kind of things like the Rico, the racketeering, and all that, man. The feds did a big sweep, a lot of stuff that, matter of fact, like the feds was gonna do it first, but then the local authorities stepped in and went ahead and took them out because they knew it was heating up. They right there on the front line. They see every day what YSL's doing. So that's why they came in and swooped first before the feds. But then once they do this whole thing, the feds are going to try them after this whole hearing for this county and the state. And y'all gotta, it's a bad look. It's a bad look for Young Thug because he got his chart with his face on the chart with the bulletin board with the dots connected, newspaper clippings and pictures from stakeouts they were doing this whole time. The last 5 years they've been watching him. And everybody around him, everyone he signed, all the rappers he did features with, all the little businesses he was working with inside Atlanta and all like Fulton County and everything. Like I said, this isn't Young Thug's first time getting in trouble. He had that whole situation happen when he had all that stuff on him he wasn't supposed to have. And they were riding around in a 2016 Maybach. I think it was an all-white 2016 Maybach. And I think he was in Atlanta at that time. And this was back like a few years ago. And they popped him. When he got popped that time, that's when they started watching him. They knew that this wasn't the end of everything. Like that it was just the first time he got caught. So, you know, they knew that he was just gonna move a little bit more low key, move different, but still be doing the same kind of things behind closed doors. Like he just has other people do it for him, which basically kind of set up the YSL for him because once he got popped, that's when he made YSL so that he could have these other guys do it for him and then he could pay him through the record label and all that. He was quick to say, you know, YSL is just a record label I'm signed to. It's not no street gang or anything like that. That was going to be what his alibi was. But see, he doesn't know what they know, which is everything. And one of his inside guys started telling, man, you can't have none of these cases without somebody telling or somebody getting found out about at some point. Somebody phone, they listen to the convo on the phone and put two and two together and basically watch them make a whole move and transaction. When the transaction was made, that was all on tape. Don't forget, the feds got everything on tape, so they using that, holding it to have that probable cause to go ahead and go after them. Because they did this whole thing in the morning when they came to Young Thug house. They did a no knock. They already had the warrant and everything like that. The judge had docu-signed it literally in 3 in the morning in the middle of the night. They could docu-sign it now from their bed. They don't have to get up and put the robe on and go to the courtroom to fill out the paperwork. They'll just email somebody the docu-sign that says go ahead and go run through Young Thug crib. So when they went and ran through Young Thug crib, he was in a He was in a wife beater blouse type of shirt and with biker shorts, short biker shorts on. Man, he looked weird, man. So they must have caught him changing or something like that. And then they had all these people they took out of there, all this evidence they was putting in boxes and bags and everything like that. And they took Young Thug out. That's when the photographers and the paparazzi and the people who was there, they seen him and started taking the pictures. That's how I saw what type of shirt he had on, man. And then the next thing is when they took him in, they immediately took him into the interrogation room. And when he walked in, the people that's in the drunk tank, they could recognize him because they seen the dreads. They know that's Young Thug. Nobody's wearing a mask over there. So they see it's Young Thug. And that at the corner of the drunk tank's door, the little window, you could see almost like half of what's going on in the interrogation room. And in the interrogation room, they brought out Popeye's chicken for Gunna and Young Thug. They had a whole meal in there, man. They had a buffet, multiple plates. Gunna was eating a lot, man. He even asked for desserts. They all got lemonade, freshly squeezed. And the crazy thing was that, I mean, they were like, man, that's a lot of food they're getting. I wonder if they're telling anything. And the people in the drunk tank are like shocked. But what shocked them the most was when they seen the CO with the whole uniform on, going into the break room, getting the hot sauce out of the fridge and bringing it in so that they could put, and they literally dabbed the hot sauce on top of the Popeye's chicken for them. That's the type of things that was going on in that interrogation room, man. And like I said, not everybody gets that type of treatment unless you do a certain thing, you know. So that was crazy. They walked out once they try to clean it all up and throw all the garbage out so that when they brought him out of that room, nobody would know what happened. They wouldn't smell the food and the chicken that was just hot. But it was too late. They had the grease all over Gunna and Young Thug face, the grease from the chicken. And they quickly took a rag from one of the other inmates and wiped his Young Thug face off and everybody face off. And they're like, this your rag now. So this is crazy, man. They must have said something or try to, give their side of the story in that interrogation room and everything. But y'all got to understand, man, they're basically high up in this whole thing. They're the top guys. So they are considered the kingpin ringleaders. And when it comes to kingpin ringleaders, everybody knows that that's who they're really coming after. All the small guys, they just try to get to rat on the big guys. And like they always say, they're trying to cut the head off of the snake. So that's the situation that's going on with Young Thug, YSL, the retaliation to YFN and YFN Lucci. And Gunna gets caught up in this whole thing. And basically, this all began with the whole Young Thug baby mama situation. So just stay tuned as the updates come out, and make sure you comment down below. Are you rocking with Young Thug? Are you still a Young Thug fan, a Gunna fan? Are you rocking with YSL still as part of the music or anything like that? What do you think about this whole thing? Go ahead and comment down below.